No, he didn't. How's it going, Yato Savage community and YouTube? It's your boy J Tom Reactions, and I'm here with another motherfucking edition of J Tom Reactions. Yo, Drake tried to cancel Kendrick's Toronto shows and tried to offer OVO Fest. The Ville has this story for us. But before we get to that, before we get to you, Ville, for everybody in the back, yes, I'm talking to you, everybody in the back. If you guys haven't yet subscribed to the Yatu Savis community and you guys are debating about joining and you guys are sitting there watching the video and you guys are like, man, this guy, he's all right, you know? But if you guys want to go ahead and subscribe, all you guys have to do is subscribe. Go ahead and hit the button on the bottom of the video. Just go ahead and do that. Also hit the like button so more people like yourselves could find the video and the channel. And also comment down below. Let me know if you guys think this article and this story is actually true. Go ahead and let me know. Also, go ahead and hit that noti bell, wherever the fuck it is. Go ahead and hit that so YouTube can let you know when I drop a new video. Now, Ville, go ahead and give us the story. Let's go.
It's like everybody is talking about this article here. This article by Anscape was made by a man named Justin Tinsley. Justin Tinsley talks about Drake and how he tried to...
By the way, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the Ville. Go ahead and do that. Like, comment, subscribe to me as well. Let's go.
Cancel Kendrick Lamar's shows. It looks like there's a lot of things that were happening behind the scenes at the Rogers Stadium that we don't know about. Now, reading this article, we're just going to find out exactly what Tinsley was talking about when he says that Drake had tried to cancel the shows. He says, on 2001, Hola Obito, a standout cut from Library of Congress, immortalized the blueprint. Jay-Z declared that if he wasn't better than his late friend, the Notorious B.I.G., he was the closest one, as the North American leg of Kendrick Lamar and SZA's massively successful Grand National Tour near its end. It's time to say this about the Compton MC. Placing Lamar's resume in context and after witnessing the highly anticipated Toronto show in person, it's not audacious to say he is close to being the greatest. Yet, before getting into the logistics of why that holds weight, one must understand the moment that stood in front of Lamar. His Super Bowl halftime show and Drake's lawsuit against Universal Music Group over the smash hit diss record Not Like Us are still in litigation. And yes, there's no denying what the last year has done for Kendrick Lamar's career, and to keep it a buck, Drake's too. Hours before Thursday's show at the Rogers Center, I sat at Gabby's, a quiet restaurant, a stone throw away from Toronto Blue Jays Stadium. Kendrick has always valued Toronto as a tour destination, but the conversation revolved around what Drake meant to Toronto. F Drake. Yeah, he had his records, but you're a joke. I hope Kendrick embarrassed.
Sorry for cutting you off, but this is a temperature check. This right here is an actual temperature check of what Toronto actually thinks of Drake. The whole concert was a temperature check of what Toronto actually thinks of him. Not just the people in this restaurant, but everybody in Toronto. And just reading this article and listening to it and seeing how everything played out and the news that's going on right now, it's not looking too good. Let's continue.
Is the F out of him, said the bartender named Melissa I spoke to in Toronto. Her coworker, Travis, co-signed her sentiment. All that repping Toronto shit is fake. I hope Kendrick does Not Like Us 100 times, and it keeps Drake up at night. The reality of what Melissa and Travis said lies somewhere in the middle of what Drake has done for Toronto from an outside perspective. Can't be understand for better and for worse. According to several Toronto residents, he is the foremost recognizable representative of the city on an international stage. Despite everything, Drake remains the greatest hit maker in rap history. Given the sheer volume of chart-topping numbers, there's no way to refute what he's delivered or helped deliver to others. And he's clearly got enough pull to make Canadian politicians like former head of the New Democratic Party, John McCain, publicly apologized on social media for attending last week's show. This is sort of the anxiety and intensity that permeated in the air before, during, and certainly after the show. It's why both nights felt like.
By the way, I saw that video where Jagmeet was at the concert enjoying himself, and then he turns around and pulls back and says, "Nah, man, I was there for SZA." He was bobbing his head profusely to TV off, and he was jamming out, man. It was like he was in his car by himself, just jamming out. You could tell that he knew the lyrics to TV off. You can tell that he knew the lyrics to Not Like Us. He was jamming out. So you can't sit there and tell me that he was only there for SZA. And that's another thing. What the Ville said has weight to it. Why do politicians feel like they need to bend their knee to Drake? Like I understand he's this international pop star, but that's all he is. He's an international pop star. You don't need to have this undying, loyalty to somebody. You don't need to have undying loyalty. For example, if somebody dissed one of the Houston rappers here, and that person was my favorite artist, I will still, if that person came over here to Houston, decided to go and go to a concert, decided to do a concert here, I will go to that concert because he's my favorite artist. I'm not going to have loyalty to just because the other rappers from Houston. You guys see what I'm saying? You don't have to have loyalty to somebody just because he's from that place. Let's continue.
Such a line in the sand moments because in many ways they were. The city may appreciate Drake's decade-long dominance, but blind loyalty doesn't exist either. On stage, though, Lamar and SZA's chemistry was irrefutable. In back-and-forth sets, both artists commanded the lore and adoration of fans who came to see them. SZA garnered her decibel-breaking moments, further cementing herself as the foremost R&B artist of the decade. Her role and importance on the tour was clear. She is the yin and Kendrick's yang, but their creative affinity is why the tour has overachieved in the manner it has thus far. When Kendrick handed the baton off to SZA and vice versa, a beacon of pride resonated, knowing that the show wouldn't have a drop-off. An added sense of intensity and flavor arrived in ways that never allowed monotony to creep in, as SZA went through a stream of her hits, many of which drew massive reactions from the sold-out crowd. There was perhaps none bigger than the appearance of Rich Baby Daddy, the irony of which being Drake's song was lost on no one. But everyone there understood that night was about Kendrick and how he would perform on his greatest enemy's home turf. Now, this is where they talk about where Drake tried to cancel the shows. According to sources, attempts by Drake's...
Hey, before we get to that, that's true. Even whenever they would play Drake songs, people know, the song that Kendrick had with Drake, Poetic Justice. Everybody knows that song. Everybody knows Kendrick's verse, and they also know Drake's verse. They know both of Kendrick's verses. They cut out Drake's verse, and it's obvious why they did that. So they did it. It's one of their biggest hits, and they just wanted to play it. But a lot of people look at it as, oh, he's dissing Drake. Maybe he is, but it's one of his biggest hits. So yeah, let's continue. Let's go. Let's get to the juicy part of the story. Let's go.
Camp to have both tour shows canceled or postponed allegedly took place in hopes of booking OVO Fest. However, by then, the paperwork with the Rogers Center had already been filed, and no other venue in the city could hold the same capacity. Ultimately, the best thing that could happen was Stream with Kaisa Nat, which also fell through. Though universally known in Toronto sports circles for his close affiliation with the Raptors, Drake's relationship with the Blue Jays is cordial at best. Part of his 2011 Headlines video was filmed at the Rogers Center, but that was back in 2011. And the artwork to his 2015 Meek Mill disc Back to Back featured Blue Jays legend Joe Carter back in 1993, walk-off from the World Series home run. Outside of that, his presence at Blue Jays game isn't well documented. So when the request came in, the team and stadium didn't feel much of a need to try and honor it because it wasn't as if the bond was ever that strong to begin with. The stadium itself, the Rogers Center, were telling Drake, look, man, you don't mess with us that heavy. You don't mess with us as much as you mess with the Raptors. You don't really like us the way that you do. Our relationship is cordial at best. There's a mutual respect, but at the same time, we don't owe you anything. We don't owe.
And that's where my comment about you don't need to have a sense of just dying loyalty. You don't need to have that sense of loyalty or you don't need to have that loyalty to one artist just because he is from that place. If anything, be like, hey, we need to look out for us. We're making more money. And I applaud the Blue Jays. They didn't have to. They could have definitely, bent a knee to Drake and given OVO Fest to Drake. But at the end of the day, they thought, you know what is gonna make us more money at this present time? And Kendrick Lamar was what was popping at that present moment. They didn't bend their knee to Drake, and for that I applaud them because it's their business, it's their stadium. They could make that decision at the end of the day. They don't have to have that loyalty to Drake because he's from Toronto. And all those fans, there was a comment made by Maul saying that everybody that went to the stadium is goofy. No, they're not goofy. Because Not Like Us wasn't a diss to Canada. It was a diss to Drake and OVO. Everybody that rocks with Drake. The camp, not his fans. His camp. If Amal is the one that is saying, yeah, this was a diss to Canada, this was a diss to... No. It was a diss to just Drake and OVO, because if you go back and you actually read the lyrics, which we can go and do, I don't know how many times I've read the lyrics. Everybody has gone back and actually sang the song. Where does Kendrick mention Canada? He doesn't. He doesn't mention, not even once. He doesn't mention Canada once. The whole thing, Not Like Us, was all directed to Drake. Every single line was directed to Drake. And the only place that he mentioned was Atlanta. You guys could go back and read it. We can go back and read it if you want. But everything was directed to Drake. And that history lesson, the only place that he mentioned was Atlanta. That is all. So what Maul actually said is not true. He was doubling down on what he said about Canada going to Kendrick Lamar's concert and everybody was just going to go and boo. And what we saw was the total opposite. Kendrick Lamar sold out the stadium twice. And then not only that, but everybody was cheering and giving Kendrick Lamar that they wanted an encore. They were telling him that they wanted that, for him to do Not Like Us again. So, yeah, having undying loyalty, that's fine. You can do that. But don't feel like you need to. That's a preference. Let's continue.
own you any type of blind loyalty, just like Justin Tinsley had spoke in the previous paragraph. Nobody owes Drake any type of blind loyalty. And the thing is that it's crazy how he demands it from the most random people that he's never built a bond with. He never built a bond with the Blue Jays or the people that own the Rogers Center. So when he comes around and tries to say that he wants to book OVO Fest instead of having them book the Kendrick Lamar show, it's like, why would we even do that? You never really rocked with us like that to begin with. So why even try to attempt to ask us to cancel it if you know that that's not what we're going to do? Maybe you think that because you're from Toronto and you're from the city, we would automatically do it, but we don't owe you any type of blind loyalty. And another thing that I wanted to add, this man, Justin Tinsley, has his own sources with the Rogers Center. Now, he says that he has a close source with the Rogers Center who was able to tell him that Drake had tried to cancel the shows. The OVO Fest angle was kind of an angle that he was using to try to get them to cancel. I'm going to do OVO Fest here. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better.
By the way, everything is alleged until further notice.
It's going to be better than Kendrick's show. However, I got to disagree. I don't think that the OVO Fest was going to be as successful as this. Who knows if he tries to do the OVO Fest later on. I just don't think the OVO Fest is going to sell out like the GNX Tour. But that's just my opinion, bro. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, the Rogers Center is definitely something hard to fill out, especially for two.
Another thing, I'm sorry that I cut you off. I'll go back actually. Why? You know how many angry fans there would be if people bought tickets, they cancel the show, and then OVO Fest happens. You know how many angry people there would be that you canceled their show? Kendrick Lamar would be upset, yes. But how many angry fans would there be? They purchase Kendrick Lamar tickets, and then the news comes out that Drake was the reason why they canceled Kendrick Lamar's concert. How many upset fans would there be? Then for sure they would ban Drake. That's money down the toilet.
But I'm going to tell you right now, man, the Rogers Center is definitely something hard to fill out, especially for 2 days straight. And the fact that Drake was going to try to knock this off, the fact that Drake was trying to get rid of this and stop this show from happening, it just shows how sensitive he is, how big of a L it is, and how he's been anti-hip hop this whole time. You're trying to cancel back-to-back shows in Toronto. You're trying to submit a lawsuit. You're trying to claim defamation. It's like, bro, can you just take a loss and just not try to do anything or not try to engage in nothing, bro? Every time you try to do something, it makes your loss a lot worse. You enable other people to continue to talk about your losses because you keep attempting to do something after the fact that you lost. Now, a lot of people moving forward are questioning Justin Tinsley's source. Now, Justin Tinsley, like I said, claims to have a valuable source that is connected with the Rogers Center. Now, whoever he got his information from, I'm assuming works with the Rogers Center. A lot of people online where this article came from, where I found it, have been questioning his article and his source. And he's actually responded to the people questioning that. So I wanted to share that real quick. He had commented on somebody who didn't really believe what he was saying. And he said, I wouldn't write it if I didn't get the information from those close to the Rogers Center. If it ultimately is proven to be inaccurate, then I will cross that bridge when it gets there. That's what journalists do. But I trust my sources highly. So if he was told by somebody that he's close to the Rogers Center that this was something that Drake was trying to do, he was trying to cancel the show, then I'm going to go and talk about it until it's proven otherwise. Until then, I'm going to let the people know that this is what I told. However, I do respect the fact that this man had took the time to ask a source about the situation here. So basically, Justin Tinsley is doubling down. He's making sure to let you know, hey, I have a source. I trust my source. And until then, I'm going to rock with what they said. At this point, what I've been told from the people at the Rogers Center, Drake had tried to cancel this show. He tried to cancel both shows and try to replace it with OVO Fest. I believe there was talk about the OVO Fest previously. Nobody has gotten an official date. Maybe this is why. Maybe it's because he was trying to cancel the show and try to book it there beforehand. But it looks like it didn't go as planned. Another loss that Drake ended up taking. But this is very interesting. And I'm glad that the Rogers Center and the team over there decided to take a stance that Jagmeet Singh, the politician that people are kind of chewing out right now, was afraid to take. We know that Drake had canceled Sir's concert when he went to Toronto. We know that he canceled Schoolboy Q's concert when he went to Toronto. It says here Schoolboy Q's Toronto concert for his Blue Lips weekend tour was canceled, and he hinted the reason was involving Drake. Not only that, Sir, a year later, had talked about the same thing, that Drake had canceled his show last year.
This doesn't just happen for people that are from Los Angeles. This happens often. To me, like, if you were really, like, let's say you're for your city, you would want your city to flourish. You would want your city to make money, right? And the only way to do that is these concerts, these events. The city will make their money back by having these events, by having these people come and pay money to have this artist come and show out. And if he sells out those stadiums, if these artists sell out the stadiums, doesn't that mean that your city is going to flourish? Doesn't that mean that your city is going to make bank and have money to put it back into the streets? Wouldn't you be putting, by allowing other artists to come and do that, wouldn't you be putting money back into the streets? But you're not looking at it that way. You're looking at it in a sense of, you don't want these people to come and possibly shit on your name. So you're allowing, you're basically placing a block, like a stoppage, on the flow of money that goes into the city, because you're not allowing these events to happen. I don't know, man. That's the mentality that I have. Take it or leave it.
A beef that I had shit to do with.
The dude is doing the Drake hands.
Here.
A beef that I had shit to do with. I just want to say right now, I did not cancel my show last year. Drake did. But real talk, it was like some complications, and it was too close to home for a lot of people. So the venue in Toronto, which was partially owned by Drake, canceled the show completely. Then when we tried to switch venues, the next venue was like, nah, we ain't fucking with it. I ain't taking no motherfucking chance. You gonna get your ass beat in Toronto. All right? But I'm happy to be here tonight, man. This venue is fucking gorgeous. I mean, I'm giving a show while I'm giving a show.
To me, this sounds like Drake is trying to be like a mob boss. To me, it sounds like, if you have anything to do with TDE or Kendrick Lamar or PG Lang, you're not allowed to be in my city. And you're just putting people that are actually fans of these people, you're putting them at a loss. You're putting the city at a loss. So again, you're putting a stop to Toronto's money, in my opinion. And I just don't see it. I don't.
This video is fucking gorgeous. I mean, I'm giving a show while I'm giving a show. So
it looks like Drake was able to cancel Sir. He was able to cancel Schoolboy Q, but he was not able to cancel the 2 nights back-to-back shows at the Rogers Center with Kendrick Lamar. So big shout out to the Rogers Center. Big shout out to the Blue Jays, the team over there at the Rogers Center. Everybody that told Drake no. They straight up said, bro, we don't owe him anything. He don't owe us anything. We don't know him like that. He don't know us like that. We don't owe him a penny, bro. We don't owe him a dime. We're going to rock with Kendrick Lamar. He's going to sell out every single seat. Can Drake do that? Has Drake done that? No. From what I've heard, Drake hasn't even sold out one night at the Rogers Center, let alone sell it.
shout out to the Blue Jays organization. The Blue Jays owner and organization for doing what they want to do at that present moment. At that moment where Drake came up to them and presented them with the idea of OVO, they looked at their pockets, they looked at everything, they looked at the potential of Kendrick Lamar selling out both days, and they were like, no. So yeah, man, shout out one more time for the Blue Jays organization. But yeah, let's continue.
That told Drake no. They straight up said, bro, we don't owe him anything. He don't owe us anything. We don't know him like that. He don't know us like that. We don't owe him a penny, bro. We don't know him a dime. We're going to rock with Kendrick Lamar. He's going to sell out every single seat. Can Drake do that? Has Drake done that? No. From what I've heard, Drake hasn't even sold out one night at the Rogers Center, let alone sell it out. But it's really interesting to know that he tried again. He tried to cancel another artist from America's show, another TDE, PG Lang affiliate, and it didn't work out. Looks like Kendrick really does own Toronto at this point. Shout out all the Canadians. Shout out everybody that went to the show. Shout out everybody that's out there. Y'all tell me how you feel about the story and get back to me, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video, man. Peace. Keep it a legend.
Shout out Ville. One time for the Ville. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Again, my thoughts. You don't have to have a sense of loyalty to an artist. If you feel like that, fine. But don't let anybody make you feel like you have to have a sense of dying loyalty to an artist because they're just from your city. Now, if you're a fan of that person, fine. If you're a fan of both and you want to rock with Drake more because he's from your city, fine. But don't feel like you have to have a sense of loyalty to an artist just because he is from your city. Again, if you do, that is fine. Don't let anybody make you feel like that either. You shouldn't feel like that. Especially if you don't. Don't feel like that. Don't make anybody make you feel like you're goofy, because you're not. You're just supporting the artist that you like, and that is it. Also, what do I think of Drake trying to stop the show? Hey, nice effort, but it didn't work. So what are you going to do now? What is it that you want to do next in your career? I think personally, and everybody can say what they want to say. Oh, you're not a billionaire, you're not this, you're not that. Oh, what is your opinion on this? Oh, la la la. No. If you're watching my video, you obviously want my opinion on this. Or if you want to troll, right? You came to watch the video of, me talking about this. Fine. So let me give you my opinion. You should just move on, man. Just move on. You're making yourself look worse. You're making yourself look like a child. You're making yourself look like you care too much about that. If you're not what Not Like Us was saying, okay. Just take it on the chin. You're making it look like you are, though. By going and suing, by doing this, by doing that, you're making it look like you are. I'm not saying you are. But you're just making yourself look bad. You're putting yourself between more rocks in harder places. You're putting yourself between more rocks, dude. And it just, as much as I don't like seeing people go down that hard. And as much as I don't like Drake as an artist, I don't like seeing people go down like that. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Take it or leave it. If you don't like it, then it's cool. Just take it. I don't care. It's been your boy J Tom Reactions. If you guys want to go ahead and subscribe to the page, all you guys got to do is that. Do that on the screen. All right. Hit the subscription button down on the bottom of the video. Just do that, man. Also, like the video so more people like yourselves could find the video. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. And also, go ahead and hit that noti bell, wherever the fuck it is, so YouTube can let you know whenever I drop a new video. It's been your boy J Tom Reactions. I'm out this bitch. You guys already know. Ya tu sabes. That's what ya tu sabes means. You guys already know. Let's fucking go.